My brothers and sisters in Christ, in the book of Moses, we hear the story after the Exodus from Egypt of the constant complaining of Israel in the face of God's constant interventions. At every turn, he intervenes in very powerful ways. Not only the great miracles performed in Egypt, of course, the splitting of the Red Sea, leading them through, the utter defeat of the Egyptians. He reveals himself in fire at the mountain. He gives them bread from heaven, water from the rock. At every turn, whatever their complaint is, he intervenes on behalf of his people out of love, and yet 2 seconds later, they're again complaining, better that we died in Egypt. God has left us here to die. It is a short-sighted complaint that is rooted in this sense of spiritual amnesia, of just utter forgetfulness or questioning of God's love. And this is again what we hear in today's gospel passage. It's a very short one, but the exchange of Jesus with the Pharisees as they demand a sign. It's a strange thing to demand a sign here, as Jesus has nonstop been performing miracles. But the miracles he's performing are on behalf of people who have come to believe in him. Out of a deep-rooted need and faith, people asking Jesus, and he delivers, whether it's healings, exorcisms, whatever it may be. We've been hearing one after another. The Pharisees don't approach out of a sense of faith. Theirs is a demand. Prove yourself if you are God. Now, they're not saying it in the sense of God. In their case, they're just saying if you're the Messiah, whatever, prove yourself. This is so often the case of what we do to God. And so we need to hear the words of Jesus' response. After performing so many miracles, when they demand a sign, he says, no sign will be given to this generation. What does that mean? In that attitude that you carry, nothing will ever be good enough for you. In the same way, the people of Israel, no matter, we today can sit there and say, it would be easier to believe if God would just give a powerful sign. And yet, for those who question God, no sign is ever powerful enough, as we've seen time and time again throughout history. For the one that questions God, it's really a matter not just of questioning God, but of demanding that God act on our terms. And this is what the Pharisees are doing in today's gospel, and so often what we do to God. It's not enough that God revealed that he loves us and that he can do mighty works. It's that we want him to follow our instructions. This begs a question. Why would we want God to operate on our terms? Instead, God invites us. He doesn't compel us as he reveals himself to us. His love is inviting. He invites us to be conformed to him, to follow God. Why would we want God to act on our terms? After all, if we live on our own terms, we have enough data points to say, how is that working out for us? Our ego, our pride wants everything our way. We want to be God, as Adam and Eve did in the garden. But that hasn't worked for us. There is no life to be found down that road. Instead, God reveals himself to us time and time again, and he invites us instead of compelling us. He invites us to be changed, to put our trust in him. For this, God's miraculous interaction knows no ends. God has delivered for us time and time again. If we put our trust in him, we will find life everlasting. May God bless you.